I've been waiting 25 years for this moment.
I'm sorry, sir. I must have taped over that.
Confronting Marx. Confronting Marx. I should say I agree with his analysis of capitalism, the bourgeois, there's distrust of them and the cycle of exploitation. You live to work. You work to live. The money you get is the money to pay back to live. But his dislike borders on malicious. It blinds him and his ideals. In the German ideology, I just have the wikiquotes thing open. I don't know about you, but I find that philosophers babble to their fullest when given the chance, putting a point forward 10 times more beautifully than the last. It's annoying, and I'd rather just have the best version. Here's the quote: whereas in communist society nobody has one exclusive sphere of activity, but each can become accomplished in any branch he wishes. Society regulates the general production and thus makes it possible for me to do one thing today and another tomorrow. To hunt in the morning, to fish in the afternoon, rear cattle in the evening, criticise after dinner. Just as I have in mind, without ever becoming hunter, fisherman, shepherd or critic. For people to not specialise, end quote. For people to not specialise into spheres of activity or professional fields is a craziness. For society, whatever entity that may be, to be able to regulate production, that is the same as supply and demand. It's a fundamental capitalist idea. If everyone wanted to be a fisherman for the whole day, then no one would be paid except for the best ones. Then a society needs to fulfill the roles of hunter, critic, shepherd. They have increased value, so more people move to them. How can you possibly supplement a lack of production in one area without something or someone doing it? However, there is one place that his idea works, which is a world of infinite resources, and that everyone in every position is valueless, because then a robot supplements the roles that everyone doesn't want. But then another problem. How can you determine whether or not you have infinite resources? Hence the agreeing with the contempt of the bourgeois. If they have achieved something, wouldn't they want to keep it secret to benefit most from the money it generates in whatever way they can? Private healthcare, private schools, private life, servants, land, holidays. They would. There's no reason to ever give up any of these things so that everyone else benefits. There's no reason to. Because they will lose out in doing so. It's the same with Hanan's don't tax the rich because they'll run away. In Marx's sandbox, which is literally what it would be, everyone is valueless, so such things can't exist. But then, even in the world of robotics, some jobs must still remain, which therefore have value. Innovation, anything too complex for a machine to be programmed. In turn, though, machines could all be simplified, and even the most complex jobs can be achieved by the most simple person. Then we have Marx's sandbox. But there is no way to robotize. There's no way to robotize, automate innovation. There can't be without AI turning into God. So even in a world of infinite and valueless people, there is the innovator. But how do you show your appreciation for the innovator? But until then, Marx's ideas don't work. It's sad that they were implemented in such a way that they could never work. We're at the most advanced society we have ever been. Any attempt at communist or socialism or Marxist throughout history couldn't possibly work. Another part, but the thing that most annoys me about Marx and Marx theory are people like Daniel Hanan, who continue to look to mock it and poke at its flaws to hide the flaws in his own. This era of global capitalism, corporate banking, welfare, the system that bails out banks when they fuck up. I don't even understand filing for bankruptcy and liquidation of assets, so maybe I shouldn't even say it, but I'm sure someone who does understand it can tell you what it means, and it allows risky investments to go unpunished because the taxpayer will bail you out. For whatever reason, these flaws go on overlooked. I'm not giving the credit to Hanan. Nation of shopkeepers is unhelpful. Jack Ma says in an interview that over time globalization has been just the kings and then the big companies and soon the next step of globalization is the big one, where it's for everyone. Monopolies and cartels. This current era of globalization is prime for it. Natural resources vary in costs on commodities and infrastructure. You can pick and choose to make your product cheaper than anyone else, thus outcompeting any local business. Once they are gone, you have full control of all prices, and it goes further than that. You can manipulate prices for labour further by saying, "You cry, we move," and then creating the same thing elsewhere. A lawless exploitation where the places they last moved from are ripped apart. Kleptocracy and corruption, another potent flaw in capitalism that goes unchallenged. Party donors. Why are you donating to a political party? Seems a strange thing to do, but it can be avoided easily by having independent politicians. Corruption in a party cannot be undone, and is favoured by saying, "Oh, I'm just covering the costs of these things that are necessary in our democracy/republic." The world's solutions aren't black and white, and this is my point. To mock Marxism does nothing but say an extreme fails. To say third-rate feminism fails, or to say anything else fails. There is a grey area, and we need to go and find it. The grey area for infinites has to have maximum innovation, but also a transparency from everyone involved in it. Baby steps. Defeating cartels and monopolies, government competitors alongside the market acts as a bar to ensure profits aren't exploitative. This idea doesn't work in places of natural monopolies such as infrastructure. If someone owns the railway, you can't have a second rail unless you bore a massive hole through the earth to make it. Kleptocracy and corruption. Independent politicians over party politics. And then it ends. It just ends. I think I got bored. But yeah, the important thing is earlier on. Whoa, Marx's sandbox. The valueless people and the robot supplements.